Tonight, a body with multiple gunshot wounds is discovered in Enniscarret and Slurry. A Castries resident is up in arms after nearby buildings are evacuated due to a bomb scare, but the CDC apartments are not.
Find out what's going on, because if you have a bomb scare, just there, at least it could affect me one time.
And vendors say they are cautiously optimistic about the market redevelopment project after receiving a payout for temporary relocation. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of May, 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. We're on Flow, channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM 105.5 and 105.9, on our website www.caribbeanhottv.com, and of course on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. St. Lucia police are investigating the discovery of the body of an unidentified male in Ancillary. The body had multiple gunshot wounds and spent shells found nearby. The discovery, that is, was made at about 11 p.m. on Tuesday night. A photo on social media shows a man lying in a pool of blood on his back. The man is wearing a white shirt and colored shorts. One of his slippers is near the body. We will have more information on this matter as soon as details become available. A bomb threat brought Central Castries to a screeching halt, with the 1st District Courthouse being one of the selected targets. Allegations also suggest that the City Hall was also threatened, with the mayor being the main mark. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
Court proceedings were brought to a temporary halt Wednesday morning after a bomb threat was reported at the 1st District Court. Persons were immediately evacuated and the area cordoned off for the safety of all those in the vicinity. Senator Gibeon Ferdinand expressed disappointment and frustration over the inconveniences caused.
It's a major inconvenience. We were supposed to have a consultation in the chamber from 10, and it's now almost 10:30, so it is delaying us by half an hour. I'm sure there's lots of other inconveniences. I just saw an elderly lady complaining that she can't get around to the CDC. So these kinds of things will always create inconvenience and affect the livelihood of other people. It also affects business. It also affects efficiency and productivity. So I don't ever think that this is something that people welcome. It's always annoying and frustrating. But these things will happen, and I guess we just have to be a little more efficient and vigilant, upgrade security to minimize them, but I don't think you can totally eliminate this.
It is alleged that a bomb threat was also issued at City Hall and that Mayor Peterson Francis was the main target. In response to these allegations, Mayor Francis said there will always be persons using mischief to get in the way of progress.
Well, I'm not going to be surprised, because as far as most St. Lucians are concerned, that they have to slow down the work of the CCC. Because I've always been preaching that people do not want to see change, they don't want to see progress, even for themselves. Because even when you put them in a position to better themselves, they get worse. I was just telling earlier on that, we have people who comes here, right? Everybody's talking about unemployment, but we have other people. We have Guyanese, we have Dominicans, we have other people from the Caribbean island. They come here and make a decent living. They do the same thing that they're doing. You don't hear them complaining. You don't see them the places where every night, every day partying. The people here to come here seriously to uplift themselves. They have their home, they have their car, they have them. The solutions that is who are doing the similar thing, they come after them. Similar things on the road. They're still the same place.
In the end, there were no casualties. The heavy traffic became free-flowing and it was back to business as usual. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
Following Wednesday morning's bomb threat, one CDC resident is questioning whether he and fellow CDC residents mean anything to authorities. He says whilst official buildings were evacuated, the residents of the nearby housing complexes were left in harm's way.
One community in the capital city is feeling left out and forgotten in the wake of a potential tragedy on Wednesday morning. Following a bomb threat where the 1st District Court and reportedly City Hall were targeted, a portion of the heart of the city was evacuated and cordoned off as a safety precaution for passers-by, tourists and business persons alike in the vicinity. However, the residents of the CDC buildings, which stand mere feet away from both targeted buildings, were none too pleased with the evacuation procedure, as they complained that they received no warnings and were left in harm's way. Felix St. Remy told Hot 7 News that he only found out about the bomb scare through word of mouth.
I didn't find it a good job because at least they had to inform the neighbors around, to find out what's going on, because if you have a bomb scare, just there, at least it could affect me one time, because I so close, just one step away from the building, Yeah, so they didn't give me no kind of information, nothing there. I only heard that from people outside, I wasn't there, I left after a time, and when I came, I only see tape all around, Now I see they start to move the tape and things like that, but they didn't give me no notice, nothing.
St. Remy said through it all, he kept his cool and was not scared.
Yeah, well, I was kind of afraid because that's why I left the house this morning when I from work and I went and cool out somewhere, because I see they wanted to pass nowhere around, not even to come in your apartment and things like that, because they put tape all around, So I made it wrong, and as I come back then now I just see they start to take out tape and different things, That's what's going on there right now.
According to St. Remy, he has lived in the CDC building since 1986. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Regional airline Liat has failed in its efforts to avoid paying more than US $1 million to a former employee in the United States Virgin Islands who was forced out of the company after almost 5 decades of employment because of his age. The Antigua-based company had appealed a decision by a jury in February to award William Cherubin US $1.5 million in damages. But the USVI Superior Court has dismissed the appeal and ordered the airline to pay the money. Cherubin took the cash-strapped airline to court, claiming he had been fired because of his age, contrary to Liat's claim that it was because of poor performance. Dismissing him because of age is in contravention of the Virgin Islands Civil Rights Act, which prohibits discrimination of employees on the basis of age. Cherubin was 71 years old when he was dismissed on the 4th of June 2015 without notice, with the company accusing him of violating company policy on 3 occasions. During his 47 years at the company, Cherubin had risen from a job as a ticket agent to manager of ground operations. Justice Brady said in his ruling that the totality of the trial evidence was sufficient to permit a jury to inference that Liat's preferred reasons for Cherubin's dismissal were in fact false. Member of Parliament for Grosley, Leonard Montoute, says his constituency continues to be shortchanged because of its sheer size. Responding to concerns of the far-reaching borders of the constituency, Montoute says he will govern irrespective of the size. However, he and residents of the constituency eagerly await the Electoral Boundaries Commission review of the Grosley constituency. The incumbent Grosley MP Leonard Montoute remains in favor of realignment of the constituency boundaries. The Grosley constituency has grown expeditiously, and the Electoral Boundaries Commission since 2015 recommended that instead of 17 constituencies, there should be a total of 21. The recommendation, made during the tenure of the SLP government, was for the current Grosley seat to be realigned to 4 constituencies: Grosley North, South, East and West. The Grosley MP says he supports realignment and would frankly be comfortable to run in any Grosley seat.
Well, I'm prepared to take it on irrespective. However, it is not a unilateral decision for me to make. Long before that report came out, I indicated what my position was as far as that is concerned. I advocated for the reconsideration of the boundaries as it exists in Grosley, and my recommendation is that Grosley be brought in line with other constituencies in terms of the numbers and the size, and for that matter, I didn't have any objections or any difficulty with the proposition that was made by the other administration.
Montoute says the current administration will support what the current Electoral Boundaries Commission recommends. He agrees that realignment is necessary for good governance and effective representation.
I know that moves are being made by the current Boundaries Commission to review the whole situation. It is my hope that at some stage, sometime, as soon as it's practicable, that will be looked at and that Groseley will be brought in conformity with what the Constitution recommends. And I say so not only because we want to conform to the constituency, but because I personally believe as parliamentary representative and as a resident of Groseley that we are being shortchanged.
As for the talk of a possible new and young candidate, Montoud says while he is not aware of any official announcement of interest on the part of the individual, he is in support of youth entering into the fray of politics.
I'm not in the business of making declarations on people's behalf. For that matter, I'm not even prepared to make a personal declaration at this time. And so, if there is an announcement that has to be made, the individual will have to make that announcement himself. All I can say to you is that if there is a call for youth to be involved in the politics of St. Lucia, that is a call I support.
It is not clear whether the new Boundaries Commission will recommend that Groseley be sectioned off into 4 constituencies, but the MP says the number definitely has to be more than 1. The last census put the population of Groseley at over 25,000 people. This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Coming up after the break, Cashree's vendors say to the mayor, "Cash me outside." And the Seymour's farmers get an opportunity to export to the U.S. Those stories and more coming up after the break.